Welcome back to USL Live Season 21. This week we're going to do a preview of the upcoming matches for Week 2. Probably should have done this for Week 1, but we did not. So we're going to do Week 2. And let's start out with a squad that none of us are on. Yeah, let's do Hellcats versus One Love, since neither of us are on that. I'll let you take the reins first here.
Yeah, sure. So right now, One Love is 1-0 and Hellcats is 0-1. This week's matches are going to be played on EC, which can kind of help lower the score a little bit because of how fast the respawns were on Kaiser's Pass last week. I see Hellcats going 10s again. I think they're in it to get everybody play time and just to kind of have fun. So you're probably going to see the same lineup of like Baza. Baza wasn't in last week, but Baza, Jimbo, Astro, Kill Switch, Lunatic. Lyric rejoined, and he did log in and got subbed in, so he'll be back. NFBI, that dude. Hopefully Renal, aka Septicemia, shows up, and probably Jaw for their 10s. Whereas I don't know if One Love will have 10 to play. They might at least have 9 now that they've recruited Soul. And Babel actually, and Bird rejoined. So they might have 10 to play for this. I see this pretty much the same lineup as last week, of course, being Colossal, Danny, Kaga, Pandy with Soul Edition, Davidine. Tyson can probably play AT here, or not AT, because Dave's going to play AT. But Marine or LMG, Typhoon,
Ripper maybe,
yeah. Dave and maybe Manu plays.
Yeah.
And I see this being very similar to last week. I see this being like 100 plus kills for One Love I'll give Hellcats 40. I think on EC they'll be able to set up some better ambushes, and if NFVI decides to use both mortars instead of just shooting one and then trying to deagle people down or miss his 40s, he might be able to get some kills. But yeah, about like 120 to about 40 is my prediction for One Love.
Yeah, I'm in the same area. We SB'd last night. We SB'd FUP last night. Interior was playing Nader and got like 26 kills or something like that. The mortars are so good on EC. I would encourage everybody to try to run a Nader on EC. If you want, obviously you have to camp rocks in mid, but like Hellcat should definitely run a Nader on EC. And I think One Love should run a Nader here too. I've seen Jeff play Nader a lot. Dave has played Nader sometimes. I think Tyson could probably play Nader. So I'd like to see one of them play Nader, and just it keeps the game interesting because the lulls when people die to a mortar is just unlike anything else in this game. It's just incredible. But 2, also, you can help hold the rocks and stuff. I don't know if Hellcats will get 40, but I was thinking maybe like a 110 to 30 kind of same area that ends up. And One Love, I'm not sure about their lineup because I don't know how Dave runs his squads. I don't remember if he does like just puts people in for the the lesser squads. So will Babel play? Will Spoils play? Maybe Spoils gets 15 or something like that. As far as Hellcats go, I think you're right on with the lineup. The one thing I would say, if Septicemia aka Renal plays, the few times I NT'd, he did lead and he slows things down quite a bit. They're obviously still beatable, but they're way more formidable when he leads because they're not just doing a bunch of dumb shit. They're not just like going out and feeding like they did against FUP. Even on Kaiser Pass when he was leading, he was only losing SBs by 30 or 40 because he was like keeping it tight. And so if they get everything there, Jokers isn't blackout drunk, and if he's medding, I think it's still a blowout, but I think it's a little bit more organized than we saw last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without a doubt, I think Renal is or Septicemia is their best leader. I think that also allows Lyric, the legend, to kind of return to form and actually just focus on playing. But he needs to show. You know what I mean? Like he can't. Obviously real life shit, whatever the case may be, but he definitely needs to show as he's by far 1 their best player and 2 their best leader, as you said.
Agreed, yeah, and then hopefully Killswitch doesn't fight him too much on trying to lead because Renal is the clear better leader there. Anything else interesting about this game? Probably not. Let's go on to the next game here. Where is it? We got One Love versus you guys, Lowlife Thugs.
Yeah, I'll let you take the lead on this one since it's my squad.
Absolutely. EC, obviously, everybody's experienced at EC, so I think there's a better chance at an upset on EC. I don't think there will be an upset. I think you guys win this, but I think there's a better chance of upset on EC. We almost lost these guys in the champ game. Not exactly these guys, but pretty close to these guys in the champ game last year, which I think would have been an upset. So I think there's a good chance that they keep it really slow, and it might annoy Sav a little bit. I know he gets annoyed when people camp. So they're going to keep it really slow as long as they don't try to camp too much when they're down 2 battles. A la they did last season, like SBs and stuff. I think they can make it competitive. As far as the lineups go, I would assume if Champ's not showing for you guys, Yosh, Iso, Fax, Iron, Nos, you, Sav, Revenge. So
Close.
right?
Close. I think after doing some VOD review and everything like that, and some of the talkings with the Dark Lords, I think Pister will start over Revenge. But
Yeah. Yeah, Revenge had an unfortunate game last week. I don't think he played super poorly, but I did think he looked a little bit out of his element in a few battles there. Died some dumb deaths. Also, I don't think he really cares, right? So, not a hard bench there. Pop Pister in there. Hopefully, you don't have to push with Pister because I know you and Iso will. The temperatures will rise if you're on a team with Pister.
Well, hold on. I don't have to worry about that because I'm soloing now, right? So
Right, you're
that's
AT solo.
on ESO. Yeah.
That's channel all the rage to ESO there. And then as far as One Love, yeah, I think Dave, Danny, Jeff, Kaga LMG, Pandy, and then Typhoon as the Marines, and you probably get Tyson and Manu again, or Stavudine, I guess. Maybe Stavudine and Manu, and Tyson gets benched. It's probably more likely, actually. I don't think Soul shows. He's Soul. He's not going to show, I don't think. So it's going to be. Maybe he shows, I don't know. But
I don't know if he shows to us. He might also think that we won't allow NTs, which we might not.
Strategically, if you can take Soul out of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the easy pick, right? But yeah, no, I agree with that lineup. If in fact Manu does show, I plug him in over Tyson, and Tyson rides the bench if it's eights, and Manu and Stav are the better medics. Obviously Dave's gonna go AT. The difference between this season and last season championship, I believe Kevin was still leading, and this is Dave leading. I don't think he's going to slow it down as much. I think he's going to kind of mirror us and spread out for vision angles. I see him running a 4-3-1 as well as us. Only issue with that is if he made a cheeky post in the forum saying "See you West Mid." If he is meeting me on the solos, I think that's a detriment. I think he needs to be with the main team to be able to see the battle and call everything out. I know Jeff is very vocal. Kaga can be very vocal. Typhoon can be very vocal. But I don't think Dave should be soloing if he's going to be the main person leading. That's kind of why I liked taking back the solo flank role from Sav, because he couldn't see the battle. And I noticed a lot last season, not much of this season because Sav's been with the main group, of course. But like you or myself would make a call and people would hesitate because it wasn't Sav making the call.
Yep.
So I can see that happening on One Love side as well. I do think this is going to be a pretty slow-paced game in the beginning, just so like we kind of give each team gets vision scouts what they want to do. We probably will run a nader 100% to break
or Yosh, I guess.
I would probably give it to Yosh, and so that we can break those stalemate battles, South Rocks or mid, wherever it's going to be. And I just, at the end of the day, I'm always going to pick my squad over the other team. And I mean, your lineup was spot on, obviously, aside from Rev and over Pister. Pister's going to start over Rev this time unless Champ shows.
Yeah, I mean, if Champ shows, obviously that's pretty huge for you guys too.
Yeah, and I mean he mentioned to us he's really not going to show until kind of like mid to late season, but things happen and he might. But I see this starting off slow, as I was saying, and then I think we kind of force them to push us, and we kind of not necessarily run away with it, but I see this being like kind of 60-30, 60-40 type of game.
Yeah, I could see it snowballing at the end. I think it's going to be pretty close to the last 10 minutes. And, historically, Sov squads have been really good in those last 10 minutes. Aside from the champ game last year when we almost threw it. But other than that, it could snowball because they're gonna have to be forced to push, which they're not the best at because they don't really practice that way. They practice more, slow down, let's hold these rocks, blah blah blah. So once they're down a battle or two, they're going to be forced. So it's going to be maybe a little bit out of their comfort zone. The one thing I would say is if Dave does want a solo, you can have Manu lead, and if Manu leads, they're definitely going to camp. So there could be a wild swing depending on who leads on how this match plays out. I think you guys still win. I just think the score is lower. So I'm going to say if Dave leads, you guys win 55-38. And if Manu leads, you guys win 41-30. Something like that. I think it's going to be a little bit closer if Manu leads and a little bit lower score because he's going to keep the pace down. He's going to go south. He's not going to go, or he's going to go north. He's not going to go south every play. So I think it brings us, you guys will have to spend 2 minutes looking for them every battle, 3 minutes looking for them every battle. So I think it probably plays out like that.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, if Manu leads, he's definitely gonna, like you said, slow it down and kind of camp. I don't think Jeff will like that because I know he had problems with Kevin's leadership style, which is essentially the exact same. But yeah, Soul, yeah, Soul doesn't like it either.
The only time he shows personality is when people camp.
Yeah. So I mean I agree. If it's Manu that's going to lead against us, then it'll probably be a slower paced, boring game. I still see us getting like at least a 20 kill spread on them if Manu's leading, because again they will have to push in those last 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll just clean it up. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for us, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, let's move on to Deadweight versus FUP. I'll let you start since I'm involved here.
Yeah, no problem. So obviously FUP had a blowout win over Hellcats last week. This week, obviously, they have you guys. So starting lineup for me would be, of course, Raver. I guess he's playing AT. He might switch to Nader because he's been spamming it in pub. Flash and Fresh as medics. Kevin as LMG. Splitta, the Mountain, Universal Soldier, and probably Bax or Apollo. Or Apollo slides into Uni's spot. Bax will probably play Ripper. And then for you guys, good recruits on Fausto and Sabotage. I'm not sure how unrusted they are. Sabo I haven't seen on. I saw Fausto on Sunday night. So hopefully he's been playing. I don't know if he found a new PC or if he's just fine playing on the MacBook. I'm not sure how that interaction is, but that's a huge pickup for you guys because one, you can bench Havoc or make him med because he played like absolute shit last week. So Fausto can play and lead, which frees you up to play your game. And Fausto's leadership style suits how you and Torch typically play. Not calling you guys passive or anything, but you guys do like those ambush plays, Mr. Ratlaw, when I was pushing CC last week. But Fausto has led essentially every person on your roster in the past, aside from maybe Ghost Bomber, Bowen, and Torch. But he's familiar with your group and he knows EC, which would be perfect for him because this would be a great game to get him back into the swing of things. So I see this kind of, obviously whoever wins the map selection or side selection, I think will have a bit of an advantage because right now I have you guys kind of even, right? Um, with Fausto taking over the leadership, I give you guys a little bit of the edge. But again, he's rusty. So I need him to like actually log in this week, get some scrims in, kind of unfade a bit. The good thing for you guys though is FUP's best Marine is playing AT.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how people view AT, I think right now, and this might sound kind of egotistical of me, but as of right now, I think I'm the only person playing AT right and the way it should be utilized, and that's 4 vision, 2 scout, and to get a solo angle. I don't think it's as good when you're in the main group or whatever the flank group might be. I think essentially that needs to be the Marine spot, and that's where Raver's best. So him taking AT and not utilizing it fully to how it should be played, in my opinion, is kind of a detriment to them. I see this game being close because, like I said, you guys are pretty even. Both squads. I mean, obviously, FUP's been probably the most active squad this off season / into the season. But I still have faith in Fausto because I've played with his leadership style. I mean, we upset New Hope the last time him and I played together. I see you guys winning this in a close game, and probably a low scoring game. I like you were saying about Manu's leading against us. I see this being like 40s, 30s.
Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of correct things. Fausto, Ernie, and I had a chat on Monday night after he returned Sunday, and we were talking about him joining. Kind of the perfect timing, perfect situation. I do not really want to lead. I didn't realize that when I created the squad that I didn't want to lead, but then after leading on KP, I kind of realized I didn't want to lead. Granted, on EC, it's a little bit easier, but no, he's going to, hopefully he's active. He should be on tonight and a couple nights throughout the weekend. He did get a PC as well, so he won't be on the MacBook. So if all things fall, obviously they have to accept NTs too, which I don't know if they will. Kevin's petty sometimes, but not really against me. He seems to only be petty against you guys, so maybe that's different. But yeah, I think Fausto slides in leads, slows it down, allows me to move around. And I think you're right too. I think Ernie is probably the best AT in the game, but same issue with ER, right? He's the best Marine on our team, and we're locking him into AT. Granted, he's good at it, but I think you're right. So if we do have him AT this game, he is going to be solo. I might try out AT too, so Ernie can play Marine and get the focus fire up. But you're spot on with the lineup. I'm not sure yet. It depends on who shows and depends on if NTs are allowed. Sabo is also supposed to be on this week, so we'll see what happens. Considering moving Havoc to med as well, especially the later games. Staley's in Chicago, so he's in the Central Time. So when we play at 11 o'clock his time, it's a little late for him. So Havoc might slide into meds in those later games, but I'll probably still stick with Staley and CC med on the earlier games. This game's at 7 or 9:15 his time, so it should be better. I see. I think we do win too. I think we edge it out. We played them on EC twice last night and with limited NTs and just absolutely destroyed them. Granted, they didn't have ER, and Kevin was medding, so it's a little bit different. But I think we have a good chance of popping off here too. Also, it's a few of our players' best maps. Like Ernie and TG, this is their map. They're so good on EC. I think Josh had a really good showing line last week. I was watching the VODs back, and TG was doing work. I know we lost, but TG and Ernie were doing work. So if he carries that on, I think it's going to be pretty scary for FUP. As far as FUP lineups go, yeah, I think it's going to be Flash and Fresh, Med, Kevin, Splitta, ER, Uni, Apollo, and Bax. So I think SV said he can't show on Sundays or doesn't want to show on Sundays. If he shows, maybe Bax gets benched for him. But I'm going to predict Deadweight wins 45-27. I think it's going to be super close all game, and I think they're going to have to push us. And again, they're not the greatest team at pushing, whether it's Split or Kevin leading. They're on the more passive side, so they're not really great at pushing and calling those pushes. So I think we can, sit back, let them push that final battle, get 6-7 kills, and it kind of makes it look better, more of a wide margin than it actually was.
Right.
So yeah, somewhere in there, somewhere like 10-15 kills, I think we win by.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty appropriate for the matchup. But yeah, I just to touch back with you, I was obviously looking at the VOD of at least our game because I had to manually tally our stats. Um, and yeah,
Oh, yeah.
TG and Ernie really played well. They
Mhm.
were definitely the best two players on your team. Obviously, you took a hit leading.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I got left out to dry a lot too, and we've addressed that already.
yeah,
Upon review, I didn't play well, but also, yeah.
yeah. So hopefully, again, with Fausto taking the leadership reins, will overall make you guys a better squad and be able to really compete for, in my opinion, the second seed.
Yeah, I believe so. It'll be interesting to replay One Love and you guys with Fausto leading if you can show up. But yeah, I think that's it. Any notable free agents left? I don't see any Infinite, as Jake will never
Um,
show. I don't know who Seven is. I don't know. Are these guys all just Kongi? Is Mad Max 7 and Men's Hair Club Bridgeby?
I I forget who Sov or not Sov. Somebody mentioned the other alias of who Seven was, and I can't remember it for the life of me right now. I guess he was an old EOLer though.
Oh,
Um,
he's what, Bosnia? Is it a Bosnia guy?
I
Germany?
yeah. I think
Hmm.
that's who they said it was.
Yeah, that would
Um,
make sense.
he would be a decent med to pick up because I
Mhm.
remember seeing him in SK back in SOE Infantry and just medding in pub. So he wasn't terrible.
I think he
Other
lags
than
though. I think
yeah,
he's
and
European.
I mean same with bias though too. And I mean
Yeah.
I see Hellcats picking probably both of them up if anybody's gonna pick anybody up.
Yeah, agreed. Does Infinite get picked up? Are you guys gonna pick him up? I know you have an
No,
extra spot.
no, absolutely not.
Somebody give Infinite a chance.
I mean, he's got 11 squad invites pending according to free agents, so maybe
Yeah.
he joins Hellcats, you know?
I wonder if any of those are active. Probably not, but maybe. Yeah, other than that, I think that's all we got for you this week, unless you wanted to add any other words.
Uh no, that's it, man. It was apart from last week's file issues because of the stat folder kind of missing and commands being an issue because of things that were out of our control. It should be a much smoother week this week, so
Oh,
wish everybody good luck.
I do want to note one thing about ratings. Everybody's like, how are dead weight in the top 10? Competition and an extra game. So people stop
Yes.
asking. We've played two
Yes.
games, so we're gonna get that boost. And then also competition. Ernie went positive in 2 blowouts. Competition matters in these ratings.
Yes, I do. And the other thing, as well as at least for not only the competition factor in the two games, I want to think that points kind of matter, like the game points for like your bounty essentially in the game. And some of these stats were manually recorded, so a lot of those points are missing. So that may or may not affect the rating. I don't necessarily think it hits it too hard,
Mhm.
but that could be a thing as well.
I think maybe assist points for meds might matter a decent amount. But
Yes.
I don't remember. I remember I was looking at the formula with Chris a while ago. But yeah, just addressing that, why people think it's crazy dead weights on there. 2 games.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for USL Live.